Sagama Padamare ni ni re ma Dhapa ga 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 Sagapa Padamare ni ni re ma Dhapa ga 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 Mana manatil dhyasa madhuni Umale phala shruti Saraswati cha गाभार्यादिं ज्योति फलश्रुति मना मनातील ध्यासा मधुनि उमले फलश्रुति सरस्वती चा गाभार्यादिं ज्योति फलश्रुति
Okay, so now we'll see the weightage marking scheme for computer science paper 2. Generally the paper pattern is same. Okay, again this is same for paper 2 also. If the college is conducting the unit test, then it is for 25 marks. Okay, generally you have objective type of questions, online test for this unit test. Terminal exam also, it is 3 marks, 2 hours. So accordingly, your teachers will say paper so that you'll be able to finish it within 2 hours. And only exam is conducted for the terminal exam. Then for exam is same as your board exam. Then in prelim exam and the board exam, you have 50 marks theory paper, 50 marks practical exam. Again here also, for theory examination, it is based on full syllabus. 50 marks paper is there for 3 hours. Objective type question 4 marks and subjective type question 46 marks. Okay. For practicals also same. For performing practical 30 marks are there. For journal 20 marks are there. Again this journal ka 20 marks. It is not just for writing the journal. It is completing all the practicals within the doing submission on the time and your attendance in lecture as well as in practical. By considering your entire ka performance for that particular subject, you will get 20 marks. Okay. Now in the software we have in the hardware we have 5 chapters. And introduction to microprocessor. In introduction to microprocessor, you have a definition of microprocessor. That is, what do you mean by microprocessor? Why it is called as microprocessor? What are the basic functions of microprocessor? This basic functions of microprocessor is very, very important. Then instruction set and programming with 8085. Okay. In this, you will have the classification of all the instructions based on their length, based on the functions, based on the operands. Okay, like when we say move A comma B, so A and B are operands. Okay, and move is the operator. So based on the type of operands and the number of operands, these are the 3 types of classifications for instructions. So you will study first all these 3 classifications. The lengthwise classification, if you see, it is 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. Then function wise, if you see the classification, it is arithmetical instruction, logical instruction, then machine control instructions, data transfer instructions. So this classification is based on the function of the instruction. And then third and very important classification which is there, that is based on the operand. So you have implied addressing, register indirect, okay, direct addressing. So these are the addressing modes you have, which is based on the type of operand or the number of operands which is specified within the instruction. So this classification is important. Every year they are asking one of the classification in the theory paper. Then the instructions you have, all the instructions of 8085, and then programming, how you can write the programs of 8085, how you have to implement the logic. So that you learn in the second chapter. So generally second chapter is based on the programming of 8085. In practicals also, you have only 8085 programming. Only this topic is there for practical. Like in software, we have three topics: HTML, VB, C++. But here, all the practicals are based on 8085 microprocessor. So remember, these first two chapters are very, very important. Okay. From now only, be clear with all the instructions, read, study, and thorough with all the instructions. Okay. Then take a small aim statements and try to write a small programs, hardware programs. Okay. Advanced microprocessors. In advanced microprocessor, you study Intel x86 family processors. So in this chapter, you will have only the features, classification, then comparative study of all the microprocessors which belongs to Intel x86 family. If you see the Intel x86 family, the series is very simple. Processor in that series is 8086. Then 80286, 386, 4x, 586. So instead of naming it as 586, they have named as Pentium. And then you'll have a Pentium ka series, Pentium 1, 2, 3, 4. After Pentium, you have a Core series, then Core 2, Core 2 Duo. So these are the different. Now we are in I generation, like I1, I3, sorry, I3, I5, I7. So these are the different generations of microprocessors. But generally, if you see the history of microprocessor, the basic first microprocessor is 8085. Okay, before 8085 we have others, but it is only for a limited task. Okay, running the program, the first microprocessor which is invented is, that is 8085. Okay, which doesn't have any proper system. You have screen, keys, process, everything fitted in a small wooden box, which is called as 8085 Dynalog kit. Okay, after 8085, from 8086, even 8086 is also a kit. Okay, you have a microprocessor kit for 8086. 8086 onwards, we have advanced computers and advanced microprocessor systems. Okay, so to learn, or while using all these higher processors, we should know the base, we should know the basic processors, how they have designed, how they have modified, how they have evolved. Okay, which features are added. So that's why these topics are included in your syllabus. Then 805 and microcontrollers. See, for different electronic devices, this microcontrollers are used in your microwave ovens, washing machine, electronic toys, electric drills. Then different equipments, electronic equipments, these microcontrollers are used. These are the complete complete microcomputer systems. Okay, that means RAM, ROM, processor, everything is built in a small IC. Okay, so for this microcontroller, embedded programming is used, which is not there in your syllabus. Only you'll have a different microcontrollers from the family 8051. 8051 is the first microprocessor, and other microprocessors like 8052, 53, AH basic. These are considered as the controllers belongs to 8051 family. Okay, so you have a features and comparative study of then applications of this microcontroller. Then in networking technology, you'll learn different terms, definitions of networking technology, different devices used in networking technology. Now, if you see it, the major weightage is given for 8085. Why? Because the programs, the main part is a program. In question number 5, it is program writing. 3 programs are given. out of 3 programs, you can answer any 2. But all 3 programs are from assembly language programs. Okay, so that's why there you'll have a major weightage. Okay, 15 marks, 15 and 15, 30 marks programs are there in the theory paper. So that's why this carries more weightage. Okay, so introduction to microprocessor, it is for 21 marks. Then advanced microprocessor, that is Intel 86 family, you'll have one or two questions from this third chapter. Then 2 to 3 questions from fourth chapter. Again, networking technology, theory wise, this is also a major topic in your hardware syllabus. Now we'll see the weightage as per the marks, weightage of the chapters and the marks distribution. So there are 5 chapters in hardware. So this objective questions, it comes from first chapter, fourth and fifth chapter. Generally, objective type questions, it is not asked from the third chapter. Okay, then 3 marks question in first chapter, or from the first chapter you'll have 4 questions. Okay, so 4 3s are 12, and then 2 4 marks question, so 8. So in all 21 the weightage for the first chapter. So remember, the theory part of first chapter is very important. It carries major weightage in your theory paper. Okay, then instruction set and programming with 8085. The 3 mark question, 4 3 marks questions can be, so in all 12 marks is there. Then 4 marks question, only they don't ask 4 marks question based on second chapter because it carries major weightage for question number 5 also. In question 5 you'll have 6 question. Why 6? Because in question number 5a 3 programming questions are there, and again, or question number 5a you have 3 questions. So in all 6 programs, 6 assembly language programs are there in the theory paper. So weightage is 30. So total weightage is 43. Generally, from this chapter, 2 to 3 instructions are asked. They'll ask you to explain that instructions. Okay, or else some of the some values are given for a particular register, like accumulator contains this particular value, B register contains this particular value, and then they'll give you some instructions. So depending on the instructions, you have to calculate the binary value, and then you have to convert that value into the hexadecimal number, and then the final output you have to write. So that 3 marks question is also asked, which belongs to the second chapter. Okay, I'll mention that questions in the syllabus, in the synopsis. So that is also very important and compulsory question which is asked from the second chapter. Okay, where the register values are given, some instructions are given, and you have to calculate the result of that particular instructions. Okay, and that is for 3 marks. Advanced microprocessor. Advanced microprocessor, you have only 1 question for 4 marks. Okay, then in 8051 microcontroller, objective type question 1 mark, then 3 marks question 1 mark, and 4 marks question 1 mark. Okay, then networking technology, again 3 marks question, 3 marks 3 questions can be asked, then 2 4 marks question can be asked. So the total weightage including option for 5th chapter is 18. Now we'll see the paper pattern. This is same as your software ka paper pattern. Sorry, by mistake I have written your paper 1. It is paper 2. Okay, I forgot to change this. It is paper 2. See, in the question number 1, it is select the correct answer and rewrite. So 4 objective type questions are asked, MCQs are asked in this particular section. Then you have to write a complete statement with the correct answer. Remember that you have to write a complete statement with a correct answer. Don't just write a correct answer. Okay, just write a sentence. Then in question number B, again 3 questions asked. Out of 3 you can answer any 2. Okay, so 2 3 marks questions you have to answer for this. Then question number 2, 3 and 4, you'll have A and B. In question number 2 3 4, A section is answer any out of 3 sub questions, okay, which carries marks. One question or one correct answer will get marks. Then in question number B section, in question number B, you'll have 2 questions. Out of 2 you can answer any one, so the correct answer will get full 4 marks. So this is a structure for question number 2 3 and 4. Then like in software, in hardware also, question number 5, it is program writing. You have to write a program for, you have to write any 2 programs, okay, out of 3 assembly language programs are asked here. So out of 3 you can answer any 2 program from the question 5A, or you can answer any 2 out of 3 from the second question 5A. Okay, now in assembly language programming also, in sometimes asked, they have given a program, they have given a small assembly line program, and then you have to calculate the values of different registers, okay, based on the execution of that particular program. So small code is given, some 10 to 12 lines ka code is given, and you have to calculate the value of different registers. So generally they'll ask you to write the values of registers or the content of the memory locations which are affected by that particular program. Okay, so that kind of a program or that kind of a question can also be asked in this question number 5A. Okay, so the program is given, you have to calculate the result, or you have to calculate the values of registers or the memory locations which are affected by the program, or else the aim statement is given. Okay, you have to write a complete program to fulfill the aim. See here, when you are writing or when you are answering this question, generally when you write this program in the journal, you have to write memory location, opcode, mnemonics, label and comment. Okay, but in theory paper, when you are answering this type of question, you are expected to write only label, mnemonics and comment. Getting it? Only mnemonics, label and comment is expected. No need to write the memory location, that is the starting address of the memory location, or the opcode, because for theory paper the opcode sheet is not available to you. Okay, so opcodes are not expected, memory location column is not expected. Only write the mnemonics, label and the comment. When you write the comment, don't forget to specify the semicolon. For one instruction, you have to write a one-line comment which explain the use of that particular instruction. Okay. For example, if it is move A comma B, then you have to specify move the content of B register to A register. So such a small comment you have to specify in front of that particular instruction in the comment section. It should start, all the comments will start with semicolon. Remember that, because in the board exam, examiner can cut your marks if you don't specify the semicolon. Okay, because when you score more than 45, 46, 47, or when your score is more than 45, then these small mistakes will also be considered by the chief moderator, okay, to cut your marks. Okay, so remember these small things. Then for practicals, marks distribution for the practical examination. For hardware also, 3 hours are assigned for performing the practical. 20 marks are for journal. So writing the code first you have to write the program. In case of assembly language program, you have to write the program in the answer paper. Once it is checked, then only find out the opcodes and they write the memory location. That is my suggestion, because most of the times what the student does, they just write the entire program with memory location and opcode and everything. Then later on, if there is a one line ka mistake is there, if any one single instruction is wrong, then you have to change the entire code. Okay, so because of that, first write your code, write mnemonics and the labels with pencil. Leave the proper space, because if your teacher is started with hardware practicals, then they'll tell you 1 byte instruction, 2 byte instruction, 3 byte instructions. For 1 byte instruction, you don't have to leave the line. For 2 byte instructions, you have to leave the one line. Okay, that means एक instruction उसके बाद एक line छोड़ना पड़ता है. For 3 byte instruction, to leave 2 lines for writing the opcode. Okay, just remember that and accordingly write your program with pencil. The mnemonic section, only write mnemonic section with pencil. Leave the proper number of lines. On the length of the instruction, leave the proper number of lines. Okay, and show the program, get it checked. Once it is checked, then only write the opcode and memory location. Okay, then writing the correct program, it carries 10 marks. Then writing correct opcode and comment, because comment is also compulsory, it carries marks. Remember, in theory exam also, writing comment is important, it carries 2 marks. Because sometimes if your program is wrong, but some of the comments are, you have written it correctly, then you'll get 1 marks, 1.5 marks based on the comments also. If you use the required instructions in the program and the comment is also correct, you'll get 1.5 marks. Okay, so for comment and opcode 10 marks. Then before and after execution, see, after entering the opcode into the microprocessor kit, you have to execute on your own, because see, the execution with Dynalog kit, it is not easy. It has some steps. Most of the students, they forget these steps at the time of exam, because generally in all the colleges, the kits, the number of availability of the Dynalog kit is very less. So generally you need to share the Dynalog kits. Okay, so that time only one student perform and execute the program, then other students will not have a practice of using the Dynalog kit. So that's why once the actual practical starts, just practice it. If your college is conducting the exam on the Dynalog kit, then just practice the programs on the Dynalog kit, because at home you cannot perform this microprocessor Dynalog kit. The price of that kit is 12,000, 12 to 14,000. Okay, so you cannot purchase it and you cannot practice it at home. With the simulators, with the emulators, it is very easy. But if your college is finally conducting the exam on the Dynalog kit, then that emulator will not help you. It will only show you whether your program is correct or not. But on the Dynalog kit, the execution is totally different. There are different steps to execute the program. If you follow the steps properly, then only you can execute it, then only you can see the result properly. Okay, then so writing before writing the values of the memory location, that is before execution, after execution values, it carries 5 marks. Then after execution of the program, once you get the correct output, then also we have to check the values of register and flag register. We have to draw the flag register table and the register table. So writing that values also carry 5 marks. See, some of the board practical slip, it is mentioned is draw the flow chart. Only for some of the practicals, only drawing the flow chart is it carries 5 marks. Like one stack ka program is there, that is you have to implement the stack using the stack operations, push and pop operations. So in that they are asking the flow chart. So that drawing flow chart, it carries 5 marks. Then one program is there like disassemble, where the op given to you, from the opcode you have to find the mnemonics. So in that program also you need to draw the flow chart. In some of the programs you need to write the working. Okay, so writing the working, drawing the flow chart, sometimes it carries 5 marks. Okay, So that is also included. In that case, then give 5 marks for before after execution, register and flag register value, and 5 marks for writing working, or else 5 marks for drawing the flow chart. Okay? And in some of the programs you don't have before after execution or register values. ऐसे भी कोई programs है जहाँ पे आपको before after execution नहीं है, register flag register नहीं है. So in that case also these 5 marks will be given to working and the flow chart. Then again 20 marks are for journal. Finally, in all 50 marks are there for the practical. Now again we'll see this reduction of theory syllabus for academic year 2021. Again here also if you see the remark, everywhere it is mentioned self-study possible. So we are also not clear till now whether it is omitted, whether it is non-evaluative, or student have to study these topics. So because of that, I'll suggest better you read all the topics, read and prepare. Okay, omit matlab totally ignore mat karo. Just read and understand these topics before 1 or 2 months before the exam. You'll have a clear idea like whether you'll be having the questions based on these topics or not. Okay, so see from introduction to microprocessor, evolution of microprocessor, which is the very popular question from this first chapter. So they are saying it is self-learning. Every consecutive year they are asking explain the history of microprocessor or explain the evolution of microprocessor, in which you have to explain the different versions like from 8008 till 8086, 8085, 8086, then Pentium. So you have to give that all 4 generations. There are generally basic 4 to 5 generations of microprocessor. So you have to explain all these 5 generations of microprocessor in this particular section, and then generally it carries 4 marks. Okay, so here now this year they have mentioned as self-learning. Okay, then block diagram of generic microprocessor. So generally this generic microprocessor का block diagram अभी कभी भी पूछा नहीं है. They generally ask कि draw the architecture of microprocessor. Okay, so this diagram is not asked in the board exam. So don't prepare this diagram. Instruction set and programming with 8085 from the second chapter, programming model of 8085. Okay, so this is covered in practical. What we have in programming model, so the register structure, whatever register we have in 8085, like A register, B register, BC register pair, HL register pair, DE register pair, flag register, then the structure of the flag register, like what are the flags, sign flag, zero flag, auxiliary carry flag. So the explanation of these registers and flag register, they are saying it is covered in practical and self-study possible. See, without learning the programming model, we cannot start the 8085 programming. So I think this we cannot omit. This is very important. Maybe they will not ask question based on this, but you have to learn this. This is very important. You should know the registers, what is the capacity of registers, different registers, then the basic structure of the flag register. So learn this. Introduction to Intel x86 family. So in that, introduction to advanced microprocessor, also kept for self-study or self-learning. Okay, so there you have just the features of x86, the general features of 808 family processor. So then next is 8051 microcontroller, also introduction to microcontroller. So here, first of all, you have a definition of microcontroller. Like, what is a microcontroller? And the definition is very important. Many a times this definition is asked. And then with that, you have to give the example of 1 or 2 microcontrollers also. So that part they are saying it is self-learning and self-study. So networking technology, in that you have a protocols, a very small topic is there in the networking, that is a protocols. Protocols is nothing but the rules for communication. Like see, when we say a computer networking, So that means what? One computer or one machine communicates with other machine. So now while communicating, if the two machines are of two different types, how they will communicate with each other? So there should be some rules so that they can communicate with each other. They can understand the communication. So generally protocols is the rules for communication. So both the parties, the communicating parties should follow the rules. So different protocols there, TCP/IP, UDP, IP protocol is there. So this is also they are saying it is covered in practical. That means you have to study this. You cannot omit. You have to study this. But generally in exam, rarely they ask the question on this particular topic. Protocols pay, sometimes they ask the question, but it is not that much important. Just you should know the features of TCP/IP protocol, UDP protocol, difference between the TCP/IP and UDP protocol. So only these two topics are important in this protocol section, and the definition of the protocol. Now in the practical section, the program for searching a given number. So that they are saying it is a repeat practical. Okay, but I don't know repeat practical because this year only you have the hardware practicals. So they have mentioned it as repeat practical. So that see, just check that whether your teacher is including this particular practical in journal or not. So if they're generally they don't include such practicals which I have mentioned as omitted, because no one has a clear idea about this omitted means what they want to say. Like omitted means it is not asked in the exam, or they have to do a self study, or they have to do it on your own. So that is not clear to anyone here till now. So just see that whether your teacher has included these practicals in the journal or not. If they have included, just make clear or make sure with your teachers these exams are there for board practical or not. Okay, because sometimes in some colleges they conduct 15 practicals or 12 practicals. Minimum 12 practicals should be there in paper 1 as well as in paper 2. But in assembly language, if your college is taking 15 or 14 practicals, they will not keep all the practicals, all the programs for the board exam. Surely they'll reduce some of the practicals. Some of the practicals you'll perform in the regular practicals, but that will be not asked for the board practical exam. Okay, so just find out the list of all these practicals from your teachers before your practical exam. Okay, so the program for searching the given number, then program using routine. So subroutine instructions programs are there. So that is RDKBD, read keyboard, inbuilt subroutines are there, and we can define our own subroutine in 8085 programming. So that subroutine, subroutine means what? It's a small function. जैसे C++ में function होता है, we can declare our own function. Same way in 8085 also we can declare our own function. Else we can call the existing function. The practicals which are based on this subroutine, okay, that they are saying it is covered in 11th. So program to generate the square wave. So generally these practical study of interrupts, then study of transmission media, setting up of LAN network in laboratory, these 4 practicals college will not include in the practical list. You have assembly language program. Most of the colleges, they include only assembly language programs in the journal. Okay, these are study of transmission media. This is only the theory practical. Theory practical, you have only the study of different transmission media, their characteristics, their advantages and disadvantages. Practically आप कुछ नहीं करते हो यहाँ पे. Okay, so only these topics are mentioned. So if these are not included in the practical slip, then you don't have to worry. But if it is included, then just make it clear with your teacher these are there for board exam or not. Then now we'll see all the chapters one by one. See, in the first chapter, introduction to microprocessor, we have first a definition of the microprocessor and the functions of microprocessor. So now whichever topics are mentioned as omitted, that I answered here. So definition and functions, basic functions or operations of microprocessor, that is here. See, the definition of microprocessor is very, very important. Be thorough, clear with the microprocessor. दिया है वैसे ही लिखो. Don't try to explain the definition in your own word. Okay. See, 80 this hardware and software. Mostly hardware is a technical subject. When you are answering any question, you should include all the technical words in your answer. Whatever technical words are there, don't try to write it in your words. Just specify that technical words properly in the answer to get full marks. Definitions, the way definitions are given in the book, okay, textbook or reference book, okay, use it as it is. Okay. Block diagram, 8085 microprocessor block diagram is very important. Generally, in theory paper, you'll have one diagram. Either they'll ask you the fiber optic ka diagram or else coaxial cable ka diagram or 8085 microprocessor diagram. Then study of different blocks in processor. See, different modules are there in the processor. Okay, so the study of these different modules is given. The modules are like instruction register, status register. Status register is flag register. Then stack pointer, data address register, instruction decoder, timing and control unit, address bus, data bus. Okay. Then arithmetic logic unit. So these are some of the important topics in this blocks of processor. So these terms are there. In the exam, they'll ask you any 2 or 3 these terms, okay, for 3 marks or 4 marks. So minimum 2 to 3 points are expected for every block. Okay. Then functions of various pins in the 8085. You have a pin diagram. So pin diagram don't prepare because it is never asked in the board exam. They will not ask you to draw the pin diagram. Okay, but the functions of the pins is important. You have to prepare the important pins like uh, uh, read RD, read, write, then ALE, address latch enable, then trap, RST, then IO slash mbar, ready. So some pins, many a times these functions of these pins are asked in the board exam. So prepare other functions of these pins. In the exam, they'll ask you to explain 2 to 3 pins ka function. Okay, minimum 2 to 3 pins can be asked in the theory exam. Okay, so just prepare that functions of different pins in 8085 microprocessor. Then in the second chapter, you'll have addressing mode. First of all, initially you'll have a classification of 8085 instructions based on the different terms, like based on length. I told you the one classification is there, that is 1 byte instruction, 2 byte instruction, 3 byte instruction. Then based on functions, we have arithmetic, logical, machine control, and data transfer. Then based on the operands and the type of operands, we have the addressing modes. See, this addressing mode is also important. If you observe, if you see the board question papers, they are asking addressing mode, 1 or 2 addressing mode they are asking every year. We have immediate addressing, direct addressing, register indirect, uh, then implied addressing. So these addressing mode definition, and when you are explaining this addressing mode, give one example, give instruction which belongs to that particular addressing mode. Okay. Then after that, the instructions are given based on the instructions are. Yes, ma'am. What happened, ma'am?
Over Gitanjali, ask the students about difficulties. Ask them about difficulties.
Okay, okay. Okay, I think we have to stop here because yeah, we are running out of time. It's 12:09. Now, just is there any queries?
व्हायचं मग. हा मला कोणतं आहे 20 का देना.
Students, is there any query regarding the hardware or hardware topics? If you have doubt in any of the topic, just ask me. I'll try to explain.
रजनीगंधा
Okay. No queries, ma'am. So,
ज्यादा बंद नहीं करेगा, थोड़ा थोड़ा रिस्ट्रिक्शन रहेगा, पूरा बंद नहीं होगा.
okay.
इधर तो नहीं, आपके यहाँ पर है, यहाँ पर नहीं.
In the next presentation only, I have covered that. I have just given the topics in every chapter. So that's it. I'll give the PPT to the ma'am. So later on, you can refer the presentation. The important part is the weightage and the marking scheme for practical as well as for theory. All the chapters are important, but if you see the marking scheme, first chapter, second chapter, and networking, it carries a major weightage. So please. Yes, I'll definitely share the PPT. I've just included the point. I have included the topics in that particular chapter. Okay. So, okay, that's it.
Should we conclude?
Okay. I think there is no doubt. So thank you everyone for patiently listening this session, and I hope it is informative and that topics and the subject is much more clear to you now. Now I'll end my presentation here. And now over to Rane ma'am.
Okay. Hello students, hope you have enjoyed and fully satisfied with the session. Thank you Gitanjali madam. Let us conclude the session here.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for a lovely lesson. And we have been speaking right from 10 in the morning. It's almost past 12. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You should wait for 5-10 minutes.
No, you can leave. You can leave.
If anyone has any doubt, you can put it in the chat box.
Yeah,
I can leave
but there are no questions in the chat box.
Yeah, they are only saying thank you. That's it.
Yeah, they are only thanking you.
Okay. Thank you, Rane ma'am. Thank you.
Sagama.